Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I've built a mid-century modern mansion in Windenburg on a 40 by 30 lot. I stumbled upon a picture on Pinterest and I felt super inspired. I have rarely built any mid-century modern builds in the past, so I just wanted to tackle a build like this. I also really like that it has some underground parts. It looks super overgrown. There's terrain involved. It's a super special build. So as soon as I saw the reference, I just wanted to recreate this build. I tried to recreate it as close as possible, but at the same time, I just tried to add my own ideas and things. So it's kind of a mix. It's kind of a recreation, a replica of a reference. And at the same time, I've added a couple of things here and there that I thought would be amazing. And as always, a little disclaimer, this build is CC free and unmodded in the gallery. I'm using the tool mod by Twisted Maxi in some areas, but this does not affect the gallery upload. Everything will still be in place. You can grab this from the gallery, and this build is available both on PC and console, so you can just check out my gallery. My ID is KateEmerald, and you can let your Sims move in. At first, I decided to work on these wide angled walls, which can also be seen in the reference, and I decided to use a base game debug object for this. This is just a canvas. It's completely empty. It can be found in debug, and you can use it for all kinds of different fun things. And I decided to rotate it using tool to create these angled walls. I'm going to use them in different areas because they are kind of one of the eye-catching parts of this build. And I'm also going to use NoCC gallery art for the garage door. And I mentioned this because back in the day I made a tutorial for garage doors and I used this canvas to create this look actually, but now I decided to use some NoCC gallery art. As always, you will find the ID in the description box and in the gallery. And there's amazing NoCC gallery art out there, and you can find some proper garage doors out there, which is just amazing. It's really quick, really easy, and it's looking so good. So you can just create your own decorative garage door. I love the vibe of this build. As I've said, it reminds me of mid-century modern. In Get Famous, we have so many objects which are perfect for this kind of style, especially when it comes to furniture, but not so much for the exterior. I just try to follow the reference. I just try to come up with different color schemes and textures which make sense for this kind of vibe. Like in general, this style would never be my first choice when it would come to like picking a mansion. If I would win the lottery and I could just have a mansion, any mansion, this wouldn't be my first choice. But generally I think it's super exciting. Like I love the style, I love the vibe, and it's just so fun to work on something different. It's such a different vibe and style. And here I've just implemented an angled window. It's like a skylight, and I've used a glass roof for this. I've used a glass roof or many glass roofs as well in my last build where I have worked on a attic loft, but here in this case it's just one window, and I thought it was so fun. Like when I looked at the reference, I had to think of my most recent build, and I thought, hey, that's such a fun coincidence, but it's just one window. And I've used some shelves from Get Together and also the tool mod just to create this look, and I've just added all these shelves in between to create this pattern. And then I already started to landscape a little bit. I've used the terrain tools to create a little hill. I smoothed it out, and then I've added lots of plants. The bush that I'm placing here right now is from Island Living. It's amazing for stuff like this. Like you can just use it to fill big areas. It looks really good. It's one of my favorite bushes in the game. And then I added this tree. I lowered it into the ground a little bit so it's not too prominent, and then I added some rocks, just a bit of landscaping so it would look a bit like the reference. As soon as you add red to this, to a bit like this, it looks more retro. It has this type of vibe that I was going for some reason. Like this is super new for me as well. I'm always working on these modern mansions, so this style was something new and challenging. And whenever something is like kind of new and challenging for you, you add something, a certain color, a certain object, and you are just trying to figure out if it still looks the way you want it to look, if the build is kind of still going into the correct direction when it comes to style choices. But the red was just perfect, so I could just follow the reference, and I just worked on a skylight. I've just recreated the skylight from the reference. I just wanted to have this beautiful skylight, and later on I'm going to work on the floor plan, and I kind of forgot that there's a skylight above. Like, I was just working on the floor plan and didn't think of the skylight at all, as you will see. And then when you like looked into the skylight from the top, you would see a wall in between, which wasn't looking good. So later on I'm going to quickly change the floor plan, as you will notice, and this is just because of the skylight, so everything was kind of matching and looking good on the inside and on the outside. And I was also going for super retro vibes on the inside, as you will see, which was super fun. And this here is the entrance area. I've used platforms, and honestly platforms kind of made this build possible. Platforms, different levels, are like super common in builds like this. They were like super, I don't know, trendy kind of back in the day apparently. So using platforms or having platforms in the game finally made this possible and so much easier. I've used a door from Get Famous, as I've already mentioned. We have a lot of retro mid-century modern objects in Get Famous, and this door was just perfect. It then added a random window in between. I just wanted this area to look extra special and fun. Didn't really make a lot of sense. I wanted to add more red flowers. These are from Jungle Adventure, and honestly just perfect for a build like this. And I'm also going to add a number to the wall later on, which is also no CC gallery art, just so it looks more realistic and good. And I was just trying to fill lots of gaps because I was using the canvas, and when you use a random object like this, not everything is perfectly aligning all the time. So I just try to fill in some gaps, some imperfections, using some bushes, some plants. The landscaping is all over the place. It looks really random, not like super polished and well thought out, and this is kind of the appeal here, I guess. And this style also makes it super easy to just hide some imperfections. Just place a plant over here and there and everything is kind of hidden and perfect. Here I just placed the garage door, which, as I've said, is no CC gallery art, and it just looks perfect. It's super easy and fun, and I just decided to add a debug car in front of the garage door in the driveway, so it looks like proper and beautiful. I'm still hoping for cars. I know it's something that a lot of people don't want because we don't have an open world, but I just want the cars to build some proper garages. I just want this to be a feature. It would be so much fun for building, and I don't know, but I just hope that even if we won't get them in Sims 4, that in Sims 5 we will have cars, if there should be a Sims 5, and I'm pretty sure there will be a Sims 5, who knows, but I'm just looking forward to Sims 5 if it should come out. I'm looking forward to Paralives, and I'm just ready for all these new things coming out at some point maybe. Here I'm decorating the roof using the island living bush that I've talked about earlier, finally placing the debug car, and it was hard picking the perfect color, but this color gave me some retro vibes in the car itself as well. We don't have lots of cars available in debug, and I thought that this was kind of the best bet when it comes to this build. And these are some base game debug decorations just to make it look more detailed, just adding different things. And this is a table from debug, and I decided to hide a proper functional table on the inside using some chairs. The chairs are from Eco Lifestyle, and they have this vibe, this mid-century modern vibe for some reason, so I decided to use them. At first I also wanted to use them on the interior. I think at first I even did that, but they kind of really look like something that you would use on the outside, like not like a proper share for the inside. So I'm going to change this up. Here I'm using some roofs, and I've applied a roof swatch which resembles a lawn. It's just green. It's part of Eco Lifestyle, I think. And this roof swatch just makes it possible to create a build like this, where it's just like something that's kind of inside the terrain. I still don't like that there is a gap between walls and the terrain or foundations. I wish there wouldn't be some type of gap. This would make everything so much easier. But here in this case, I had to use roofs. Not only did it make sense just for the looks, like it just made sense, but also I don't have a lot of space on this lot. It's a 40 by 30 lot, and as soon as you want to use terrain or a lot of terrain, if you have to smooth it out, you really need a lot of space. I didn't have that space here, and I didn't want to switch the lot because the build is rather compact. The lot is beautiful in Windenburg, and it just makes sense. It's on this little island, and it's just the perfect lot for this. I really loved the whole vibe, so I didn't want to use a different lot. I didn't want to switch lots, so I just used the roofs to just to mimic the look of terrain and stuff. And yeah, here I'm decorating the outside a bit, and here you can also see the chairs that I've talked about. The sofa is from Dream Home Decorator. I figured the color would make sense. The color just matches the whole vibe and style. But on the inside, I'm going to use sofas from Get Famous. As I've said, we have this mid-century modern vibe. And here I'm working on the floor plan. At first, I had to use platforms because I had used platforms on the outside. There was a huge height difference. And the first step was just placing platforms in front of the two doors to connect everything so the doors would be functional. And then I just tried to figure out what would make sense, different levels. I used some stairs. I wanted to have a fence at the top at first, but then I thought a wall and some windows would be so much fancier. So even though this build is rather compact on the inside, at least for a KateEmerald mansion, I guess, I wanted this to look extra special and retro. So I've used all these colors and different levels and stuff, and I had so much fun working on this floor plan. I'm not the best at doing floor plans, but this was like so unique and different that I had so much fun. I really enjoyed this. And yeah, then I made some adjustments and increase the size of this area in the front when you enter the house because of the skylight, as I've explained. I then built a basement and opened it up because at this point I really wanted to add the underground part to the build, and I also realized that there isn't really enough space for a bedroom anymore. I mean, technically, yes, there are people who build tiny houses and stuff. There's always some space for a bedroom or a bed and all that. But the way that I had designed the floor plan at this point, using all the platforms and stuff, as you just saw, I really wanted this area to be for the living room, the kitchen and stuff. So I decided to just build a basement so I could move all the bedrooms into this area of the house. I then expanded this room a bit because I was really running out of space while I was working on this kitchen. And I really wanted this kitchen to look retro, but at the same time I had no idea which kitchen to use and what to do. I really wanted this to be not too over the top when it came to colors and stuff, and I was really struggling, which is why I've made some changes multiple times. And I then ended up using the counter from Dream Home Decorator and counters from the base game in a green swatch, so it's kind of like a really neutral color, this white and beige, but then also this really over the top green. I think this is kind of always a good color choice for mid-century modern, like this green or a blue. And here I'm working on the dining room area. This is like on the platform when you enter the house, and here you can see the chairs that I've mentioned, but then I changed it up. And also you might have noticed this, I completely missed that the room wasn't fully closed, which is why, like, for a minute there, the light was completely weird. This was outdoor light, and the reason was when I was opening up that basement, I opened up the whole room, and we had outdoor light on the inside. So here you can now see how beautiful the light actually is on the inside, and you can really see all these colors pop. So I just confused myself there. Like, when I added the basement, I had no idea what was going on, and honestly at first I really had to figure out how to close it off again and what was going on. And here I'm working on the living room. It's also on the platform at the top, and everything is connected, and I'm changing out the chairs here. And I was going more for a bit of blue here, so the kitchen has green, but then I switched it to blue as well, and I just wanted this to be really colorful and different. And also the wood, I would hate these wooden walls in real life, like this dark brown. It's just too much whenever I see it on TV or something, in a movie, like these. I don't know, it's just too much. I feel like it's suffocating me. But here it looks super warm, and it kind of works for some reason. But in real life, I'm not really a big fan of these wooden walls. Let me know what you think of them and if you like them, like in general, in The Sims, for a build like this, or in real life. Just let me know what you think. Also, please let me know if you have any requests. Recently, you've been sending me some fun requests, and it's so much fun looking at them. The attic loft, for example, was a request, so just let me know what you want to see, something out of the ordinary, something fun. And you can also always DM me some pictures on Instagram or Facebook. Some of you just send me DMs, just some houses my way, and that's always fun. I always appreciate that. So if you have something in your mind, just send me a DM if you want to. And here I'm working on the basement, and then again, I'm working on the bathroom at the top. I'm using some green counters, so it has this mid-century modern vibe. And then I'm just going to work on the bedrooms at the bottom. There are 3 bedrooms in total, 2 bathrooms. 1 bathroom is located in the basement at the bottom, and then we have the bathroom, which you just saw right next to the kitchen, near the entrance of the house. So it's really just kind of compact, and I didn't want to create a overly huge basement. I always feel like, the basement could literally fill the whole lot in theory, but this would be like too much. I feel like the basement has to, like, the size has to make sense in relation to the house above, or it's like super weird. So I try to keep the basement rather small as well. And there is a fun outdoor area. I opened up the ceiling at the top, and it's like super weird. This is like such a weird build in a good way, and I hope you enjoy it. And this video is actually slowly coming to an end. You will soon see some screenshots, and you can grab this build from the gallery if you want to. As I've said, this build is CC free and unmodded in the gallery. You can grab it from the gallery, you can use it on PC and console, and even though I've used the True Mod by Twisted Maxi, it's unmodded. You don't need the mod to grab this from the gallery and place it. Everything will still be where it's supposed to be, which is amazing. And you can also grab the tray files on my Patreon. And speaking of which, it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Asia, Dawn Bryce, Rishka MD, Sarah Diaz, Saturated Spark, Shanna McClam, Telena Lynn, Two Cats Tailoring, and Vicky S. Thank you so much for your huge support. A big thank you to all my other Patreons. Thank you to anyone who watches my videos. Thank you to all of you. I love you all so much. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're doing super well. I hope you will have a perfect week, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.